A to the K.
To the K.
To the K.
Welcome to the 8K Wrestling Show. We're coming at you quicker than a creep on a piece of Rhea Ripley fan art. It is the Rapid Roundup. And on SmackDown, we kicked off things with a tag title gauntlet match with 6 teams battling for a number 1 contenders match at Money in the Bank. And let's be honest, I didn't even realise WWE had 6 tag teams, but apparently they do. And Pretty Deadly managed to outlast the other 5 teams and get the opportunity in their hometown of London, baby. After the match, they are, confronted by Kevin Owens and Sami, but they run away. So, exciting times for Pretty Deadly. Love the stuff they've done since they've been brought up to the main roster. Zelina Vega gets the better of Io Sky after more miscommunication from Damage Control. Backstage, Shotzi then confronts Io and Bayley and asks Bayley to put her Money in the Bank spot on the line, and Io accepts on Bayley's behalf. So, I don't know, with Dakota injured now and this whole tension in the faction thing going on for so long, you gotta wonder if Damage Control are a bit too damaged to continue at this point. So let's see what happens there. We then get Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair on the Grayson Waller effect. It's a different, more determined Bianca at this time. She says she's the longest reigning women's champ and didn't need to do it 14 times. Says whoever wins out of Asuka and Flair in 2 weeks' time, Bianca is calling his shot. So I like this from Bianca. We've been saying for a while she needs to freshen it up, and let's see where it goes. I still think a heel turn would be the best in her best interest, but let's see. We then get a mixed tag match with Karrion Kross teaming up with Scarlett Bordeaux, and they manage to somehow defeat AJ Styles and Mia Yim. Meanwhile, Santos Escobar manages to somehow defeat LA Knight ahead of Money in the Bank, so surprises all round. But let's be honest, when it comes to SmackDown, this was just beautiful, right? Nobody does storylines better than WWE, and this Bloodline stuff is gold. Speaking of gold, Jey Uso deserves a damn Oscar at this point. I say it every time he does one of these performances. He's that damn good. But Roman gets in Jey's head, and Jey basically tells Jimmy he's main evented SmackDown, he's main evented pay-per-views, main evented WrestleMania. He's the right-hand man, and it's all thanks to Roman. He's not wrong, to be fair. So he tells Jimmy, you're out of the Bloodline, but then says, I'm out too, before super kicking the ever-loving shit out of Roman Reigns. And it was beautiful, so good. They then take out Solo, and the pair of them do a double super kick on Roman, and Paul Heyman, just the best, with his shocked face, Macaulay Culkin-esque at ringside, just chef's kiss, beautiful, perfection, love it all. As for Raw, Seth Rollins plans to kick off the show, but is attacked by Finn Balor on his way to the ring. This then spills over to the backstage, and basically Finn just batters him. He says he's been waiting 7 years for revenge, and it's coming at Money in the Bank. After this, The Miz comes out and says he was set to accept Seth Rollins' open challenge, so instead he's going to issue one of his own, and who accepts it but the one and only Tommaso Ciampa, making his return, former protege of The Miz. So The Miz goes to give him a hug, but he eats a fist in the face instead. So Ciampa accepts and gets the win over The Miz. But weirdly, Johnny Gargano nowhere to be seen in his hometown of Cleveland. You'd think with Tommaso coming back, they would probably, because they're always doing stuff together, you would think he would be involved in some way, but evidently not. We then get to see some pretty funny videos, to be fair, of Chelsea Green in her Karen character ahead of a match which takes place with Chelsea teaming up with Sonya as they get defeated by Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, and Indus Sher once again makes short work of Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. I said it last time, put some respect on their names, reform the hair business, because Shelton and Cedric deserve better. Logan Paul sits atop a ladder, talks about how Cleveland is full of losers, but it's all going to change because he's spoken to the execs like he does. And now he's in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Then cue the Money in the Bank parade. Out comes Ricochet, Shinsuke, Santos Escobar, LA Knight, yeah. And they all talk some shit on the mic until Butch comes out and starts throwing hands. But it's Logan who comes out on top. So, do you think they're going to do it? Could they actually do it? Are we going to see Logan Paul as the new Mr. Money in the Bank? Let's be honest, a giant bloody briefcase with a WWE logo that will be seen all over the place with Logan Paul. I can see them doing it, to be fair. So, let's see what happens. We then get Riddle taking on Ludwig Kaiser, and he manages to get the win, but after the match is beaten down by Gunther and Kaiser. Bronson Reed also defeats Shinsuke Nakamura. It was a match, it happened. Chad Gable continues to train Maxine Dupree ahead of a tag match between Alpha Academy and Viking Raiders. At ringside, Maxine successfully hits a suplex on Valhalla. Everyone's celebrating, but that ends up costing Gable the match. We then get Natalya out looking for redemption after getting squashed at Night of Champs. However, on her way to the ring, Rhea attacks her. The match doesn't happen, and she gets a big beat down. Backstage, though, Rhea comes to the back, and Raquel Rodriguez, of all people, confront her. And look, I fucking love a mirror match, so I'm excited for this. But one thing I do have to say, I wasn't a fan of Raquel saying she's not ready for her. Like, isn't that Asuka's line? But we then get Raquel taking on Trish for a Money in the Bank qualifying match. Well, Becky Lynch comes down and ends up accidentally costing Raquel the match. So yeah, Trish Stratus is going to Money in the Bank. As for the main event, we get 6-man tag action after Dominic challenged Cody and 2 partners of his choosing to fight the Judgment Day. Cody goes ahead and picks the tag champions, and the babyfaces get the job done. Heading over to Dynamite now. Wonderful start to the show. MJF and Adam Cole. Fantastic match from them two in a world title eliminator. I still don't like these world title eliminator things. Like, I kind of get it. It's like if you beat the champ, you get to fight the champ for the belt. But I don't know. I'm not keen. But fantastic opening match, and I love what they do here. Like with these time limit draws, just as the ref is about to count the 3, the bell rings on the count of 2, and the time limit expires. So love it. Cole as well asks MJF for 5 more minutes, to which MJF just nopes the fuck out, gets out of there, which is a fantastic heel work from MJF. Speaking of fantastic stuff, the latter part of this, but Sammy Guevara comes out. He's trying to be a babyface, reminds the fans him and Ty are having a baby girl. He says he wants that world title, but he's got to make some changes in AEW before that happens. Cue Darby. He comes out, congratulates him, but says he needs to get out of Jericho's shadow. And speaking of the champion, he's next to come out. He asks Sammy, why didn't you ask your mentor for help when you were going for the title? He says maybe they have to tag again as the Sex Gods to remind him who his boss really is. And then, Darby with a little bit of a zinger says, Jericho, you call yourself the Wizard, but the magic's gone in the ring. And then who comes out? It's Sting! And we get the stare down that we haven't seen before. Both men with baseball bats in each other's throats. Are we going to get Jericho versus Sting? After all that stuff on social media with Jericho saying he's not interested, maybe it's a swerve. All In seems like a fitting place. Could it be Sting's retirement match? All questions, and all good ones. Wardlow retained the TNT title over Jake Hager in unsurprising fashion. However, after the match, Christian makes a challenge for Luchasaurus versus Wardlow on Collision, and they reveal that they've taken out Arn Anderson. He's in a bloody pulp, but we'll talk about that match in a little minute. Following this, Sky Blue gets her title opportunity against Toni Storm, and she's got Toni beat, but Ruby causes a distraction, allowing Toni to retain. And after the match, they beat her down, but Willow makes the save. Just want to say, Sky Blue, fantastic showing, and I think she's going to have a big future in the AEW women's division. As for the main event, do you know what? One of the better main events on Dynamite in a long time. We get the Elite versus Blackpool Combat Club. Fantastic match, but that ending, Hangman, he gets the win over Yuta, and then Eddie Kingston comes out, makes his return and starts beating up Claudio. Takeshita comes out and starts beating up all the Elite, really, only for Kenny Omega to come out and start going after Takeshita. And just when we think the Elite are going to have, win the day, Will Ospreay is there, shows up and takes out Kenny. There's chaos everywhere, and it's a wonderful episode of Dynamite, and I cannot fucking wait for Ospreay versus Omega. As for Rampage, speaking of Ospreay, we kicked off with the Undisputed Era. That's not what they're called. What are they called? Their faction. Anyway, they come out and they have a match and they win. And Omega Ospreay is awesome. Also on the card, we got Ty Valkyrie making short work of Trish Adora, and we also had to sit through the clusterfuck that is Jeff Jarrett teaming up with Jay Lethal and his wife against, I'm not even shitting you with this, against Mark Briscoe, his dad, and Aubrey Edwards, the referee, because of course. Main event, however, is awesome. We have Takeshita getting the win over Bandido in another fun match, but just entirely predictable, as it always seems to be. Rampage. There was a point in time this was the best hour of television for the wrestling world, but no more, unfortunately. And it's interesting to see where this goes now that Collision is here. And boy, is Collision here. For the first time, we headed over to the first debut episode of Collision, where apparently Saturday night's all right for fighting. Punk comes out, kicks things off with a promo, says he's tired of being nice. AEW is a business, not a popularity contest. He says he's called One Bill Phil because he's the one genuine article in a business full of counterfeit books. Shots fired. He says if people feel they're owed an apology, then he's sorry that the only people softer than them are the wrestlers that they like. Again, shots fired. And yeah, interestingly, he comes out carrying this red velvet bag. He alludes to the fact he's still the real world's champion since he never lost it. He had to kind of forfeit it due to injury. So perhaps we're going to get some kind of MJF match there as well to crown a true champion at some point, who knows. But yeah, the fact that they're doing all this stuff with the Elite, maybe money is still to be made. Maybe we could see CMFTR versus the Elite at All In or something. I'm intrigued. First match of the night, Wardlow defends his TNT title against Luchasaurus. It's a match I've wanted to see for a while. It's a polarizing result because Luchasaurus gets the belt, he gets the win. So on the one hand, super happy for Luchasaurus. On the other hand, Wardlow just can't seem to hold that thing down. This is like his fourth time he's lost it now. So yeah, I don't really know. But the fact Christian's holding the belt up and acting as though he's the champ makes it interesting. I don't know where they're going to go with it from here, but yeah, bad times for Wardlow. Andrade El Idolo returns against Buddy Matthews, announcer. Yeah, they call him Buddy Murphy, which isn't ideal. Good match though from two guys with great skills. Andrade gets the win on his return, but after the match the lights go out, and yeah, basically House of Black are there and they fuck up Andrade. So let's see what happens there. Maybe we're going to get some kind of reformation of his previous faction and we get some more faction wars. Speaking of people who are back, Miro returns and he steamrolls Tony Nese, and it's just so good to see Miro. I'm happy he's back on our screens. Love the guy, and yeah, hopefully he gets a good run. As I mentioned before, we're after the aftermath of Dynamite with Sky Blue's title opportunity, we get Sky Blue teaming up with Willow Nightingale to take on the Outcasts, and Sky Blue picks up the win for her team. So as I said before, Sky Blue is over, man, and they've definitely got a star in their hands, and hopefully they do some good stuff with her. We also got to hear from the Acclaimed as well, who basically in a nutshell said they want to win the trios titles, so we'll see if they do that. And as for the main event, we get CMFTR taking on Samoa Joe and Bullet Club Gold, and yeah, no surprises who picked up the win. Punk in his hometown, and yeah, decent match, and he made it through injury free, so hopefully he'll stay healthy, and yeah, we'll see where they go from here. But you know what, really solid debut episodes of Collision. I would have liked some more surprises. You know, if we didn't have Miro and Andrade announced ahead of time, that could have been something nice. Obviously Thunder Rosa was nowhere to be seen, and I don't know, just maybe I'm just too expecting of surprises on like debut shows and stuff, but it would have been nice to see something and just keep us interested. But yeah, very fun debut show. Great wrestling all around this week, and we will leave it there. So we'll see you on the next one.